Hey everyone, ChronoLink9 here, and today I'm going to be talking about my Rhode Island Comic Con 2014 experience, which right about now was 2.5 months ago. Took place at the first weekend of November. It is now January, the middle of January, and yeah, I haven't gotten around to talking about it, but I'm here to remedy that and talk about what a great time I had. I went down. I have some friends that live down in Rhode Island, and I was fortunate enough that they were welcoming to me and were like, yeah, you can come stay, and so I stayed with them and had a really great time over the weekend, and hopefully someday I'll probably go back and visit them again. But in any case, we went on Saturday. I think it was multiple days. I don't remember specifics if it was a multiple day thing. I think it was. And we were really fortunate to have gotten in at all, even though we had tickets already, but they actually closed. They stopped sending people into the expo hall around like 1 o'clock or something, and we got there around 11:30 or 12:30. It was something like that. So we were actually very fortunate to have gotten in, but it was absolutely packed. The expo hall it was a decent size. I wouldn't say it's definitely not the biggest I've been to, and I've been to PAX East a few times, and that expo hall is just massive, way bigger than that one. But yeah, the hall was very big. It was splitting up into multiple sections. You know, they had vendors, they had guests, of course, in another section, all kinds of guests, and then I had like a comic book artist sort of alley, I guess you could say, where a bunch of comic artists were there. I wasn't really, funnily enough, it's a Comic-Con, but I wasn't really interested in the comics part. I'm not super big into comics. That's just kind of my preference, but there was still a lot of great stuff to see, a lot of great stuff to pick up merchandise wise, and of course the thing that really attracted me to it the most was that one of my all-time favorite voice actors, Vic Mignogna, or Mignogna, was there. I really love him as Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist, and I'll get to that later, that he was there. So, first thing, entering the hall is just sort of soaking in how many people were there, obviously, and of course checking out vendors, the first vendors you see. And so we looked around for a little bit, and I wasn't seeing anything that caught my eye immediately, but all of a sudden, I out of the corner of my eye, noticed some familiar art. At the time, I'd actually been watching through the entirety of the series for the first time in chronological order. I'd seen all of the episodes before, airing on Nickelodeon, but I had never actually seen every episode in order, start to finish, which might seem kind of weird considering how big a fan I am of this, but whatever. But that is Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Art of the Animated Series by Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. And really great. I love the art of this show so much. And there's a lot of great, there's just a lot of great stuff. They have art for like every episode. They have like storyboards, character sketches. There's something from both the Waterbending Scroll and Jet there. And I just love Avatar, and I love its sequel series, Korra, which actually I've only seen the first season of so far. So sorry for commenting, no spoilers, because that just actually finished entirely recently. But yeah, so love Avatar. Really had to pick this up when I saw it, love it. I actually noticed that there are art books too for every season of Korra, which is pretty cool. The only one that's around me is season 2, and since I haven't seen that one yet, I haven't decided not to pick the art book up in case I get curious, which has tended to happen before. So no spoilers. But the exact same booth, I noticed that they also had a statue. Now, I've never actually seen very much of the series at all, but I love the art design. I love the mangaka, Akira Toriyama, and that's already probably giving it away, what series this is, and that's Dragon Ball Z. And I saw they had a Son Goku figure, and I was like, that is pretty awesome, and in Super Saiyan form. And yeah, I've ever since I first was introduced to Kira Toriyama, it was probably in Chrono Trigger, and his art on that game was fantastic. It translated very well to the sprites, I feel, in-game sprites, and yeah, I've just always loved his character designs and everything. I was actually checking earlier today, just before I did this, just to make sure it wasn't a bootleg, and because I don't really know specifically how to check in between, like what's a bootleg, what's not, what are the signs. I think it's probably on a case-by-case basis, honestly. But for this particular figure, the key sign is actually the Toei sticker that's right there. That's kind of like the big thing that determines, at least before you unbox it, is the big thing that sort of separates this one. Another thing which I actually checked is on the bottom of the base. There's actually some telltale signs comparing the bootleg to the normal one, which is really cool. It's amazing to me. I've just kind of entered the world of figure collecting, and it's really interesting seeing the different ways you can tell a fake and a real one. So yeah, love that Super Saiyan Goku figure. Wish I really had a better place to put it. I do have like an empty shelf up here, you might see. But it's, I have way more figures than I have room for at the moment. So unfortunately, that has not found a special place, but it will eventually. As I said earlier, Vic Mignogna was there, and he was actually there not specifically for being in Fullmetal Alchemist, which is now like 5 years old, or having been in any of his other anime appearances, but he was actually there specifically for a series he's doing called Star Trek Continues, where he plays Captain Kirk. This is a live-action thing, by the way. His fellow voice actor Todd Haberkorn plays Spock, and it's actually really great. He get to show off an episode of it there at Comic-Con, which was really, really great. I really enjoyed it. Some of the acting's a little dodgy, but for the most part, he and Todd Haberkorn are just excellent, which I guess that's good because they do a really great job voice acting, but sometimes that wouldn't necessarily translate to real acting, but they do a really good job, I thought, and yeah, so it was cool. It was a very Star Trek convention. They actually had William Shatner, Walter Koenig. No, Walter Koenig was there, maybe? George Takei was there. I know that. No, was George Takei there? Wow, now I'm forgetting. It's been a long time, so sorry if I'm forgetting. But I know Shatner was there. That was like the really big one. Shatner was there, and I didn't get to meet him. The line was way too long, but I did see him from afar, so that was pretty cool. Just be like, hey, it's Captain Kirk. It was a very Star Trek themed convention. They had a lot of stars from the original series but who specifically is escaping me at the moment? Because like Koenig or Takei, one of those guys wasn't there, I think. I don't remember. This is bad. I should have written this down. Whatever. Anyways, I was there for Vic Mignogna, and I did get to meet him after his panel. He went back down to the little booth area, whatever, and I actually got my Volume 1 of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood signed by him to Alec, Vic Mignogna, Ed. And yeah, it was really exciting getting to meet him. I might post the picture here, I might fade in. I don't even know if I can do that. Whatever, I'll find a way to put it in. But yeah, so very exciting getting to meet him, and getting a picture with him. And getting to chat with him a little bit about Star Trek Continues, because even though I love him for Ed Elric, his passion for Star Trek in the panel was something I could share myself. He was an original series kind of guy. I'm more TNG. That just has to do with the generation gap. I think he's almost 50, might be in his 50s, something like that. But yeah, that just has to do with a generation gap, and that's fine. And I love the original series too, so it was really great getting to hear him just gush about how much he loves it and how much he loves the project, and yeah, so that was really, really enjoyable. While I was there, I actually get to meet Colin Baker, the Sixth Doctor from Doctor Who, and that was kind of interesting. I don't have a lot of. Dad is the real big earlier Doctor, pre-reboot Doctor, or pre-continuation Doctor stuff, and so I don't think I've even seen. I don't even know if I've seen one episode with Colin Baker in it, but. He was there, and I got something from my dad. I was like, if you have any Colin Baker stuff, like, get me to sign. I'll get it signed, and so I did. I get to meet him. He was really, really nice, and yeah, it was really cool just getting to meet someone who played the Doctor. I mean that's already pretty awesome. So, yeah. So. Keeping my train of thought going here. I also happened to stumble upon, as things are winding down, was sort of looking for posters. I love posters. I have a container, actually it's a trash can, full of poster tubes sitting right over here that I wish could be put up here. There's just a smorgasbord of different posters and everything that are down here. I'll have to do something about that eventually. But I love posters. Posters are fantastic and really, really nice, and I love posters. But there was one big vendor that had just like this huge bunches of tables set up filled with posters. There were comic book posters, movie posters, anime posters, video game posters. There were probably like recipe posters or something. I mean, like there was just all kinds of posters. It was nuts. Getting to flip through Disney posters. Yeah, there's movies, but Disney posters. And it was great. I love posters, and getting to see like old home posters and things was really, really cool. But one thing caught my eye, and they had, in addition to smaller posters, they had really huge, like movie-sized posters. Like the ones that are bigger than they're big. I'll just say that they're big, and yeah, it was really cool getting to see those huge ones. And I was thinking about, like, I don't have any space to even put up the posters I have, so there's no way I'm getting one of those. But I did actually get one of the really big ones. Not for me, for a friend for his birthday, my friend Dubs. And, and it's this poster specifically right here. Only in really massive form, and not with the bars of white. I'll have to chop that or something. And that's a My Neighbor Totoro poster, the movie poster, with the Japanese. Yeah, I love My Neighbor Totoro. It's his favorite movie of all time, so I had to snag the really big one for him. But I got 5 of these smaller ones, not 5 of these, but that you'll see in a second. So yeah, so there's one. Great. They had I think they were like $5 a pop or something. But if you bought 5, you got one of them was free. So. I had to do that. So yeah, I got 2 other Ghibli ones. I was kind of disappointed a little bit because I was looking for like the Wind Rises one, and I didn't end up getting that. But here's one from Howl's Moving Castle, which I love this movie very much. Honestly, like I have to like re-look at my rankings of Ghibli films because I don't even know where it stands anymore. All of their films are just excellent. Well, maybe not. All of them are good. The vast majority of them are just fantastic, phenomenal. Here's one I got of Kiki's Delivery Service. I actually just picked this up on Blu-ray. It's newly released on Blu-ray, and I just picked this one up recently. But this is like the DVD box art. But like, oh man, I love. This is probably my favorite poster that I got. I just love this art so much. Really, really great, and it's a great movie too. And then I got 2 more. I'll show the Zelda one. Love that stained glass stuff from the Wind Waker. It's kind of interesting. This was like the 5th one. I was like, I'll just throw that in because I wanted to get a free poster. I love Zelda and everything. So I mean, sure, I was more than willing to get that for free. Or I guess I could have gotten either one for free. That was the last one I picked out, anyways. And then this one. I was kind of bummed I couldn't find the. Well, I'll just grab the DVD in a second. But here's a movie poster for Akira, or however you want to pronounce it. And love that. I love the tagline Tokyo's about to EXPLODE. Blow up, explode. I love that tagline, except for without the ridiculous crap that I was just saying. And yeah, love the movie. Great, excellent film. Really popularized anime here in the West. And now I'm breaking things. I'll edit it in post. I'm actually not going to edit this in post. I'm just going to do it right now. I wanted a movie poster with that. Because that's my favorite art from the, like, promotional art for Akira. But I didn't. I couldn't find it. They didn't have it. And so, whatever. But yeah. So, in addition to that, I went to one last booth. It was kind of the last hurrah. I was looking around for various different things, and I was thinking about getting an Attack on Titan figure, but it was kind of... I couldn't see into the box, so it was like I couldn't tell if it was one that I had, if it was a kit, or if it was just a standard figure, and I didn't really want a kit figure. All kinds of complications. I don't know. It took me forever to decide. But I actually ended up getting an Evangelion unit, which I love Neon Genesis Evangelion and the Evangelion films, though I've only seen the first one. Another one, I've only seen the first one. So yeah, so I picked this up and I was like, I love Evangelion. It's like Evangelion Unit 1, right? That's what I thought for a long time, and by for a long time I mean for like a day or two. And then I was looking on the side a little bit more closely, and it says that it's, and here I'm doing a Eva 13 versus Eva Production Model 2 Tick Gamma. And I was kind of like, Eva 13? I mean, like one of the mass production Evas that barely weren't even shown in the series. So I was like, what? And then I figured out, I was like, oh, I have no idea what that is, because I've never seen Evangelion 3. You cannot redo. And like I guess it's like, I have no idea. There's multiple eyes on that thing though, after I looked at it closely, so I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I don't know anything about it. I don't really know what those little bullet things that are in there too, you can see propped up there. I don't really know, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was Evangelion, and it is an Evangelion, so very cool. Love the mech designs in that show, and yeah, I was happy to have it. So, alright, well, that about wraps it up. I probably still ranted for forever, now that I'm thinking about it. I went on for a while, but that's a little bit better. I'm more satisfied with that already, even though I awkward shelf stuff, I don't really care. But yeah, so I'm hoping to talk about some games I've been playing recently. Might do a games in 2015 that I played kind of segment. And by games in 2015, I mean games in 2014 that I played. I don't have a game of the year 2014. I didn't play enough games in 2014 to warrant one. So I'm more just going to probably do a retrospective of games I played in 2014. But look for that in the coming future. And yeah, that's about it. I had a fantastic time, picked up some really cool merch, got to meet one of my favorite voice actors, and get to chat with him and see his passion about Star Trek, which was really great. Yeah, so that wraps it up. Thanks for watching.